Hi, this is Stephanie Hansen, and you listen to me every week as the host of the Makers of Minnesota podcast. But what you may not know is in my professional life, I help brands with social media strategy. I also help them with social media management. And currently, I have openings for 2 clients. Generally, when I'm your social media manager, I help you gather contents and assets of things that we can post on your Facebook, your Instagram, your Twitter accounts. We'll also do some LinkedIn posts if you have great business stories. But generally, I am the person that will help you write and schedule content for your social media feed so that all you're needing to do is talk with me a couple of times a month to get the calendar together or to talk about generally how you want your social media marketing to feel. And then I'm the person that executes the posts. I can also respond to messages that you get from people on your social media feeds so that you are doing the business of getting business for your business. If this is something that appeals to you, just let me know. You can find me at shansen, Hansen, marketing@gmail.com. Now on to the podcast. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Makers of Minnesota. I'm Stephanie Hansen, and I apologize in advance if my quality of recording isn't as good as normal today. I had something happen with a disc that I'm working on, and I have a guest here, and so we are improvising. I'm here with Charles Lovejoy, who, thank God, is a friend, because otherwise it'd be real bad. Charles is the owner and creator of Lovejoy's Bloody Mary Mix, and Charles, you first, how did you get started in the Bloody Mary making business? Was it because you were working at the Happy Gnome and?
Well, funny story. I ran into a friend of mine from about 20 years ago. It reminded me that actually when I was bartending with him at Saudi.
Did you bartend there?
Yeah, the warehouse district, across from Pizza Luce downtown.
Yep.
He reminded me that I was making Bloody Mary mix then. So I was telling him about the business. He's like, "Oh yeah, you've been doing that forever." I'm like, "What? No, I just started." He's like, "No, you were making the Bloody Mary mix back then too." I'm like, "Oh, I didn't even remember that." So apparently I've been doing it for a while.
Sure.
But I've been bartending for about 25 years, and I've always, or a lot of places I've worked, I've been the maker of the Bloody Mary mix. So,
yep.
So the Happy Gnome was definitely supercharged everything. So I was doing the whole program. And
did you start when they started doing the, what do they call it? Not the Endless Bloody Mary, but they had the Bloody Mary bar.
Right.
Was that your creation?
I started that because out of pure laziness. I just didn't want to make 100 Bloody Marys every Sunday morning. So
yeah.
I was like, hey, you can make your own. So we just started small with just one little table and with maybe 15 items and 2 different mixes. And at the end, there was consistently 40 different options for your bloody, and then 8 different mixes. So you made 8 different mixes. You have now bottled one. Just the original, right?
Do you think you'll bottle? And tell me what is how would you describe your original Bloody Mary mix? Because it tastes different than normal.
Sure. Which I'm not. I don't. Honestly, I don't go around drinking a lot of different Bloody Marys.
It's thinner. It's thinner in a good way,
right.
Not thin on flavor,
right.
But sometimes they're super thick.
Right.
And then you have to kind of wait until they get watered down by the ice a little bit to...
Right. So it's definitely a crowdsourced recipe. The consistency just came about. I think it just came about naturally through using vegetable stock instead of a water base. I don't use just straight tomato juice, or a lot of people use tomato paste. So I just use tomato juice and a vegetable stock, and the consistency just comes from that.
Do you have an actual recipe written down?
Yeah, kind of.
Because it's one thing to make stuff and then make it for your friends, but when you bottle something,
there is a recipe written down somewhere, and I do follow it most of the time. But I don't add anything that's not I have all the ingredients and I know the proportions. I've been making it for 10 years, so when I do bottle it, there's a little variance between the two batches, but not much. It always comes out the same.
How did you decide to go from probably making this for friends and being a bartender, having all that experience to I'm really going to try to make a go of this as a company?
Right. So that was It started with my mother, actually, who was she had a day shelter for homeless families here in St. Paul, called the Family Place, which just recently shut their doors in October, unfortunately. But so I used to help them out with like moving beds and driving trucks and that kind of stuff. And I just wanted to figure out a way that I could permanently just give back to help her and to give back to the community and to help the families there.
And as a bartender in this community, like you met me and my husband and you kind of know our story and our kid, and you get personally involved with the people in your neighborhood. Exactly.
And so I was looking for a way to do that. And then my sister, who is a force of nature, helped me, pushed me towards bottling it, and then just doing like charitable giving with it, like maybe gift baskets and stuff. From that, it just kind of evolved to selling it over the bar, first of the Happy Gnome, and then now we're in some retail stores and a bunch of different bars.
Is your hope to like keep growing it to where it could be like your full-time job?
It is. Yeah, it is. It's, I'm hoping to get there, hopefully within the next year, like to get there, just to at least give it a shot for a year. And my ultimate goal would be to empower some of the people that I'm still doing charity. $2 a bottle goes to our new organization. It's called Face to Face.
Okay.
It's a teen outreach center located downtown St. Paul. And my ultimate goal would be to employ some of those people to, make it, maybe sell it, or, however that works.
I've been doing this now 3 years. And in the last year, I feel like so many of the people that I talk to, they're interested in the give back model. Mm-hmm. There's a huge charitable or doing for others component that I didn't necessarily see in the very beginning.
Right.
Why is that important to you?
Well, to me, just by nature, I don't like to do things for myself that way. Like, it's easier for me to work harder for somebody back to somebody.
Yes.
Than it is to work for myself. And it's the right thing to do. I think it's just the time. Like there's something in the air that says it's the way that businesses should be.
Well, and I think it's almost a response to. There's been a lot of. I mean, I don't mean to get political, but I'm gonna. There's been a lot of sadness and greed and tax cuts and social programs being cut.
Right.
And, in the day, both parties had a certain amount of social undertakings, right? Taking care of the people that need some help. And you can argue whether the left has gone too left and taking care of too many and the right has gone too right, taking care of too little. But the facts are we sit in an urban environment where there's still a lot of people hurting and a lot of families that are not able to put it together. Right. So whatever side of the aisle you're on, it feels like corporate America can and does a lot of times fill in those blanks. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. What's interesting, though, is that we're seeing entrepreneurs filling in those blanks. Right.
And I would just imagine it's a product of their environment, of the workers' environment. Like, people see that. And, it's a good marketing tool, too,
Yeah.
I mean, people do respond. It's nice to see that people respond to that.
And I think millennial-wise, we're seeing a lot of the millennials that it's very important to them. Things like the environment are important to them. The give back programs are important to them. And they are much more conscientious, I think, about that their dollars have weight in a political sense or in a charitable sense. Whereas we would give to the United Way a certain percentage of our paycheck, or that's just really changing that model.
For sure. Yeah, I think it is too. I also think that the millennials, they can see that some of these charities maybe are not what they say they are.
Yeah,
and
that
big
maybe
corporations now too.
Yeah,
it's a big money game, that's for sure.
Yeah, and so it's a little more grassroots feeling. Mm-hmm. When you, why Bloody Marys? Why didn't you do, Old Fashions or something else?
I have no idea. Because, it's because my shifts. I worked Sunday morning, and that was just the thing. I had been. I don't drink a ton of Bloody Marys, but when I do it, if I have a Sunday off, which is pretty rare, I like to have a good Bloody Mary. And when I've been out and I had terrible ones, it just ruins your day. So,
yeah, because it's sort of just meh.
This is what you do. This is all the effort you get. So I don't know. There was a hole, I think, in the market, and I think that was I just wanted to fill it. Yeah.
Is it hard for you so you are bottling it yourself, you're not at a co-packer yet, and you've got a hot sauce too.
I do, yes.
Was that always in your mind's eye that it's called Burn Yo Face hot sauce?
Yes.
Did you always know you would do hot sauce and Bloody Mary mix? Is it kind of hand in hand?
No, the hot sauce was just a derivative of that. I had a guest, a regular, that always complained that we didn't have anything hot for him. Like, we didn't have any hot sauces. Sriracha wasn't hot enough.
Sure.
Cholula definitely wasn't hot enough. So I would just go back to the kitchen and grab stuff and just whip something up for him on the fly. And he came up with a pretty nice recipe for him. It still wasn't hot enough, and this still isn't hot enough for him.
Yeah, you got to do a little bit of Minnesota hot.
We're trying, but so that's where that came from, and it's there's similar bases. We had a lot of we had Thai chilies, jalapenos, habaneros, and Carolina Reapers into the hot sauce.
So this is just a totally weird question, but I've always wanted to ask someone. When you work with the Carolina Reaper pepper,
right?
Do you have to wear gloves?
Yeah,
I mean, this is the hottest pepper, right?
You wear gloves for sure. And then you watch when you go to the bathroom.
I was going to ask about that too, because everyone's had it where you cut a jalapeno or whatever. My husband has had it for sure. And then it's you touch yourself and it's I'm burning.
Yeah, it's not good. Yeah, for sure. So you definitely want to make sure you glove up.
And even breathing it.
Yeah. Exactly. When I heat it up, and you put your face over the pot, it gets really intense.
Yeah.
Yeah. You start coughing and whatever.
Right.
Yeah. Washing the utensils in the pot is very intense.
Does your whole house smell like peppers when you do it?
Well, the kitchen I work at, it does.
Or do you do a commercial kitchen?
I do a commercial kitchen, but yes, it does. I try to do it later when people aren't around, so I'm not burning everybody.
How often are you bottling?
For the hot sauce, it's I do a batch about once a month. The Bloody Mary mix, I'm in there 2 to 3 times a week.
So that much?
Yeah, for sure.
And then who has to sell into the retail accounts? Are you going and knocking on Mr. Surdick's store?
Yeah, so as far as retail goes, we haven't reached out to too many retail places quite yet, just because a lot of the liquor stores they carry other Bloody Mary mixes. Yep. And my price point's a little bit higher, which is fine, But what I found success in is the smaller markets, like the craft markets. We're in Homespun in Minneapolis. They're on 38th Street in Minneapolis. And they sell a lot of it. Season Specialty Market up in Grant sells a bunch. So the smaller crafty markets. One of my best retail places is Mac and Thune's Meats.
Sure.
Yeah,
Yeah, I do.
So yeah, it's kind of weird that way. So I'm not looking to do liquor stores right now. We're just gonna slow roll it and see where it takes us.
And some of the liquor stores are more local friendly than others too.
Sure, for sure.
So maybe, getting there eventually. When you think about, are there any, well, you don't love Bloody Marys, you just like yours.
I do love Bloody Marys, but they have to be good.
Do you have a vodka preference on what you pair with your Bloody Mary mix?
I really like a little plug for Prairie Organic cucumber vodka.
Okay, so you like the cucumber vodka in...
I do. In my mix, I do.
Yeah,
for sure.
It's got a vegetal taste to it, which probably complements it.
Yeah, exactly. And I think my mix has the vegetal taste, but the cucumber, there's no cucumber in it. I think that just elevates it just that much.
Are you one of these people, let's talk about garnishes for a minute. Mm-hmm. What is a good Bloody Mary garnish?
Oh, man. That's a tough one. That's so personal.
Because so many of the bars, make, the chicken wing, the sandwich. Right. And I get the Instagrammable piece of that, and that's cool.
You're right.
But if you're going to just serve your best bartender Bloody Mary, what would you use as a garnish?
Well, my mix is vegan and gluten-free, so it would have to be something along those lines. I personally think any pickled vegetable will do.
Right.
I mean, I love pickled green beans, carrots. I love pickled carrots.
I like pickled carrots too.
Pickled red onion is really good.
Yep.
Yeah, those are great in a Bloody Mary. And obviously your olives and regular.
But cheese.
I don't know.
I don't know why we need a square of cheese.
I don't need a square of cheese.
And the meat, like I love a hamburger with the side of the bloody, but I don't know that I need it all
in the thing.
And a meat stick too kind of
Right.
grosses me out, to be perfectly honest.
Right. Yeah. I don't do.
It feels so. It feels kind of Wisconsin-y to put like the giant.
And nobody wants to feel Wisconsin.
No, because my whole family is from Wisconsin. Okay,
That's
so
fine.
I feel like I can rip it.
Exactly.
Like, come on, like this giant meat stick in our drink.
Exactly. And I see those like on the websites and then on the Facebook pages for Bloody Marys, and you wonder about the quality of the cocktail.
Yeah, like why do we have to put a giant oily
Right.
piece of meat in there?
Exactly.
And then if we're just going to stay on the tangent, filberts. Like why are we putting nuts in drinks too?
Yeah, don't
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
weird. Like when you order a White Russian or I don't want a filbert floating around in
Right.
my drink.
Especially filberts. They tend to have worms sometimes. They're not.
Do they?
Yeah, I've worked with filberts. You don't see them too much anymore because of the worms. They sit around for a while. They develop worms. Some of them. So.
Okay, that's
Not
disgusting.
to knock the filbert industry, but sure.
That is so gross.
Exactly.
Okay, just bartender lore. When you go to a bar and you see more than 2 fruit flies,
Okay.
do you feel like that's just the nature of the beast, or is it that bar's dirty?
No,
And
I don't feel that way at all. It's just the nature of the business, I think.
how many fruit flies are acceptable in a bar before it's just
tough.
a dirty bar?
It's tough. That's a tough call. I would say more than 8 fruit flies.
Really? You
Yeah.
give it that many?
I give it that many fruit flies.
'Cause,
It
like, one or
and
two-
It depends on if they're flying in your face or if they're like if you can just
Around a bus tub. Yeah.
Right. That's different. I don't know. I've worked at plenty of bars that have almost every bar I've ever worked at has a fruit fly problem.
That's
one way
right.
or another.
And I hear that, but like sometimes it's like so like you can barely even drink your drink
Right.
without inhaling
Yeah.
a fly.
That's
And
just
I'm
not
like,
good.
okay, you maybe need to bleach her down.
Yeah, exactly. And then, they come up through the drains and it's just, you're constantly using those drains. And I've worked at a bar that had a worse problem, had bees. Had a bee problem. I got stung like 4 times on one shift.
Okay, that's a lot.
Yeah, it was obviously a patio bar.
Yeah.
And it was upstairs, and then you just set your hand down, and the bee would, you smash a bee, and it's just.
So what do you do about that?
I don't know. I ran.
Well, and like we have jars of honey and stuff at the cabin if they're bad and we're eating
I
lunch,
see.
but
Yeah, should have done that.
yeah, and hornets.
Yeah,
Honeybees
hornets.
aren't really
Yeah,
going to
not
sting you.
those
The
bees.
nice
Yeah, the
bees
nice
are
bees.
fine. Bring them on.
They were hornets. Let's just say it.
Yeah, we're just going to kill those bad boys.
Exactly.
Are there other local makers that you've connected with along the way, or people that you admire?
Oh, absolutely. The guys at Tattersall are fantastic.
They really are.
They really are. They're really great.
And I'm so, like, it's one thing to have success, but I really feel like they have had success. They're super hard workers.
Mm-hmm.
They're kind. They
Exactly.
have helped other makers. Like,
Right.
they're not stingy with the information. They
Right.
try to help.
Exactly. I'm hoping to have a sit down with Dan hopefully next week.
Yeah. He's not home very often, but
been
if you can
talking.
corral him.
We've been chatting. So
Yeah, they've got a new organic vodka that I'm
Yeah.
going to an opening this week to try
that's
it.
excellent.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Any other people that...
There's a bunch of people at my kitchen. I work at a Gia kitchen here
Okay.
in St. Paul, and there's a bunch of people there that are just fantastic. there's a Henry Kitsu who does African-made juice.
Yes.
African tonic, that's what it's called. He's great. We and him have chatted a lot.
I'll have
too,
to try
so,
to hook up with him.
Yeah, for sure. Everybody that works there it's like very communal there, and it's not like don't look at my stuff. We try to help each other out, and when I was bar managing, I brought in like some coffee makers, Filterra Coffee. They were good guys too, and brought them in, and just trying to support each other and like get the products out there.
That's nice. Yeah. People that maybe are familiar with you from Happy Gnome, we will use this as the official coming out that Happy Gnome is closed.
Happy Gnome is closed.
So where have you ended up now?
I've been at Octo Fish Bar since since August.
Okay.
So I had a second job, and then now I'm at the Lexington here in St. Paul.
That's our friend Chef Jack Rabel. Is it a different type of bar environment? Because obviously
sure.
Happy Gnome was so beer heavy.
Yeah, for sure.
You have to make a lot more drinks, Charles.
Yeah, exactly. They put me to work there. There and octo. It's all cocktail heavy now. That's just the way the trend of the restaurant, the industry is going. I feel like the Gnome was an anomaly that way. That it was so beer heavy. Like it was a lot easier, to be honest. But.
And a lot of the beer geeks, are they just going brewery to brewery instead of bar to bar?
I believe so.
It has changed the industry a little bit.
Yeah, even towards the end of the Happy Gnome, they were getting rid of. We had 90 taps, and we're going down to 70, I think.
Yep.
So, and that would have been fine. 70 taps is still a lot. But
and it's kind of hard to manage all those. Like, you're having to make all these different menus.
Right, every day. Yeah, they were printing menus every day and that kind of thing. And then, and when it started, the Happy Gnome, it was a different environment as far as beer goes. Like you said, like the breweries are everywhere. So you can get those beers wherever. You don't have to depend on your local tavern or bar to carry them. But so yeah, things are changing.
Yeah, just changed.
Yeah, it just changed.
Well, it's been great to talk to you. It's Lovejoy's Bloody Mary Mix, and I wish you success. I know you're going to be at Stone Arch Festival this summer. Are you signed up for some other festivals? Or?
Yes, I'm getting my act together. We're going to do the Grill Fest, I believe. Maybe the Food and Wine. At the Target Center, or at Target Field, but yeah, we're gonna be out there.
All right. Well, thank you for being on the show. Yeah. Sure.